What's good, combat sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It with your host, Bando. This episode is the high-stakes fighter breakdown of the former bantamweight champion of the world, Suga Sean O'Malley. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Alright, so what do we know about Sean O'Malley? We know that Sean O'Malley is extremely skilled when it comes to his striking, when it comes to his movement, his style, his accuracy. It's all pretty impressive. Now, Sean in that last fight against Merab, the way he lost, a lot of people did not think that he deserved to get a title shot, deserved to get this rematch. I was one of those people, but I understand how business works and money talks, and Suga Sean O'Malley brings in the money. So can't be mad at it. I understand it. And I do think Sean is somebody who's good for the division. If you look at it, he's somebody who will be interested in defending his belt. He wants to build a legacy. I like the way he's acting in this buildup. He definitely seems like he's locked in. Seems like he's extremely determined to come in and get his belt back, right? So I do think he has big potential to get it done. And we know that Sean O'Malley is a superstar already. Right, so to come back, get the belt back against the guy who already beat you once, you get the belt back, you go on, maybe you defend it against him again, you go on, you fight Corey Sandhagen, who's going to be an extremely exciting striking matchup, and I really just hope Sean wins this fight so we could end up getting that one day. But if not, you know, Sean's a superstar, and that just is what it is. He's built himself to be one, and I think with a belt or without a belt, he's still a superstar, but with a belt, you know, it helps you grow so much more. And I think Sean's chasing that. Not only is he chasing that belt, but he's really chasing to get that win against Merab back. Because you look at it, Sean is capable of beating Merab. He really is. It's not like Merab is so much better than Sean, or Merab knocked Sean out in a way that like Ilya did Volk, and you feel like it's a kryptonite thing. No, it's not even like that. Merab just pretty much outlasted him and outworked him in that fight. And we'll see on Saturday night if that injury did play a huge factor. And it might have. It might have. These guys don't go into fights 100%. So simple as that. It might have very well played a huge factor in the fight. So we'll find out on Saturday. But I think Sean has the skill set to go in there, win this rematch. And in my opinion, it's not going to be a Sean O'Malley decision. It's not going to be a Sean O'Malley submission. If he's going to get the win, it's going to be a Sean O'Malley KO in Sean O'Malley fashion. That's my prediction if Sean gets his hand raised on Saturday night. So now you jump into analyzing Sean O'Malley. When you analyze Sean O'Malley, when you break down Sean O'Malley, when you look at him, striking is the first thing that's going to come to mind. Like when we were talking about Merab, the first thing that came to mind was wrestling, right? He's known for the wrestling. Sean is known for the striking. But something that stands out in Sean's striking, and I'm always going to be a fan of this. I always have been a fan of this, and I feel like it is extremely useful, and guys have a lot of success with it when they know how to do it properly. But the switching stances, right? Sean switches stances a lot. And in a fight against Merab, it could negatively affect it, but I don't think it does in the way that Sean fights. But he switches stances very well. He's good from southpaw. He's good from orthodox. He knows how to land a shot. And guess what? The power shot can come from the left or the right. It doesn't matter because the accuracy is there. His accuracy is some of the best accuracy in the entire UFC. His striking is some of the best striking in the entire UFC. He's quick. He's elusive, creative, and he's powerful. You know, when you mix all them things together, you come up with one nasty-ass striker, and that is Sean O'Malley. And when you talk about the skill set of striking. Alongside of that is the range management. He's really good at managing the range, judging the distance, understanding how to control the distance, right? He's typically much bigger, much taller than majority of the guys in that division, right? You don't hear of many 135ers who are standing in around 5'10", right? Sometimes you do, sometimes you get some, but not often at the 135-pound division. So Sean does have that advantage because he's longer than everybody. He's good at utilizing his reach. He's got a 72-inch reach, so he's good at utilizing his reach. He knows how to work it. He's good with the kicks, right? You can keep people at bay with his kicks. He has a great teep kick up the middle, so that's another thing that is really beneficial to him to keep somebody like Merab back. Merab was blocking a lot of them kicks in that first fight, though, so it's interesting. I think maybe that was one of the things that played a factor with Sean with the injury and everything. So who knows? Like I said, Saturday we'll find out how much the injury did play a factor in that fight. And then I would say when you're also analyzing and breaking down somebody like Sean O'Malley and you're talking about his style and his skill set, you do have to go to the corner, right? Tim Welch, in my opinion, Tim Welch is a good coach, right? I think he gets the bad rap because of his persona and stuff like that. Sometimes he comes off as, I don't know, the best word that I can describe it as, he gives a douchey vibe, but I don't think he's a D-bag type of thing. You know, I don't think he's an asshole. I just think he's I think the two of them have played character for so long, right? But now I think things are changing. I think it's time for everybody to lock in. It looks like Tim Welch is trying to lock in on just coaching in general, and Sean's trying to lock in to become a champion and build his legacy. So I think the two of them together, they've been together for so long. They can continue this. They know how to. I feel like Tim Welch knows exactly what Sean needs in terms of if you see Sean down in a fight, where Sean needs to make the adjustment, where Sean's lacking, if Sean's injured, if whatever the case may be. He truly knows his fighter. These two are very close. They're friends. They came up together and everything like that. So it is something you have to pay attention to, is the adjustments that come out from the corner. What type of things is Tim Welch going to be saying? He's a fantastic coach, and he could very, very well be the type of guy to come through and make the adjustments against somebody like Merab. But it depends on what style Merab brings to the table. But I'm talking about coaching battles here. It's hard to go up against Ray Longo. So we're going to have a head-to-head coaching battle in this fight again. And I feel like that's what we kind of did in the first fight. And if we do get both fighters above 70%, we're going to have a fantastic fight. But we have to talk about the keys to victory for Sean O'Malley against Merab Dvalishvili. The first key to victory is Sean has to utilize the classic stick and move, right? Be evasive. Stay off of the cage, right? Continue working with lateral movement. Whenever Merab tries to bring the pressure, keep it in the middle. You know, when you break out with a combination, make him pay. So land combinations, continue the movement, right? And just hit him, get out of there. Hit him, get out of there. Continue to move. Do not allow Merab, like I said, Merab's really good with the bouncing, and then he'll plant. And you know, if he plants, he's either going to throw a specific strike, maybe like a kick or something like that comes in his style. Sometimes he's going to, who knows, right? Or he's going to shoot. More than likely, it's going to be a shot. It's going to be something to work a clinch, to get you to back up against the cage. So don't back up against the cage. Continue with the lateral movement, right? But stick and move. Make him pay. And don't just hit him with one shot. Don't just jab him. Hit him with nice combinations and really hit the 3-4 punch combination. Get out of there, right? Keep it in the middle and just keep on continuously moving. Continuously moving. Stick and move is the first key to victory. Like I said, something that Sean O'Malley is really good at, and in my opinion, is a huge key to victory. And it kind of goes hand in hand with stick and move in a way, but that's the distance management. He needs to continue to utilize that. Teep up the middle, right? Those teep kicks are good. Now, like I said, Merab did block a lot of those, though. We do got to look at that. He blocked a lot of those kicks up the middle. But I think if Sean just continues to throw him, continues to throw him, it's just something for Merab to pay attention to, Merab to think about. And Sean is, he's crafty. He's crafty. He can come up with something with his kicks. So if Merab is thinking teep up the middle, he can disguise it and finish off something else. Like I said, Sean is crafty. He can come up with something, especially when it comes to the kicks. But I do think he has to utilize that range, distance management, jab, keep him at bay. And like I said, it goes hand in hand with stick and move. So it could just be one key to victory altogether. But distance management, the way he has done it in the past, he just has to continue to do that in this fight. And I think it will be a huge key to victory for him going into this one. And then the last key to victory, not really, there might be another key to victory after this, but try to control the pace. Slow it down to your pace, right? Merab is a high-paced, high-volume pressure fighter, right? Keep it at your pace. Be patient. Find your shot. I think it sounds so simple, right? Because you're just talking about it. It's of course going to sound simple, but it's extremely difficult when you're in there to find that shot. But Sean's accuracy is so clean that he can find a shot. And I think this also leads into the last key to victory would be actually making him pay during them takedowns. I always say that for strikers versus wrestlers. You got to make him pay. You got to make him regret trying to take you down. You got to make him not want to shoot again. Merab is going to shoot 7,000 times, okay? He might land 6 of them, but he will shoot 6,000 times, 5,000, 4,000, 3. It doesn't matter. Merab's going to shoot a lot is what I'm trying to say, right? He's going to shoot for that takedown. So make him pay, right? Make him pay. Lessen up the amount of times that he shoots and tries to put you on your back. Make him pay. Make him regret going for a takedown and force him to fight your game. And then that goes hand in hand with the last key to victory, with the pace. Control the pace. You be patient, everything like that, because now you have taken Merab away from Merab's number one strength besides cardio, which would be the wrestling. You make him pay. Make him regret trying to take you down. Simple as that. No, it's not as simple as that, but sounds very simple. Then you look at the negatives going into this fight. Obviously, wrestling is a negative. Not that Sean isn't good enough to defend the takedowns. I think defending the takedowns and being a defensive wrestler are two different things, right? And Sean's number one strategy is to be somebody who is defending the takedowns, making him pay, and keeping the fight on the feet, right? He can't be a defensive wrestler where he's scrambling and rolling around with Merab, because he's just going to end up finding himself in a dangerous position where Merab just ends up controlling. And that's exactly what you want to avoid. So wrestling is obviously a negative going into this fight. Like I said, not that Sean's bad or anything like that. Not that he can't get a submission on the ground or something like that. He's just, it's not a wrestling strength that is within Sean O'Malley. There is not a wrestling strength. Do not be a defensive wrestler in any way. Just defend the takedowns, make them pay, and that's your best bet. But could play a huge factor in this fight and could be a big negative. The next negative is it kind of goes in with the wrestling, but the same negative for Merab is a negative for Sean, right? It's weird. It's weird how that works. I believe pressure, if done right, can be a huge key to victory for Merab. But if he's just trying to play around in there and he's shooting and he's just messing around and stuff like that, he's going to just allow Sean to end up finding something because he's just playing around too much, which Merab can do. But that pressure, the successful pressure of Merab, can be a huge negative for Sean O'Malley, because now you're talking about that pressure versus accuracy. You're talking about volume versus accuracy. Really, it's really not much about it's more of volume versus accuracy. Merab's not looking to land every single punch that he throws, right? He's not looking to land the one shot. I said in the breakdown from Rob, he's not really known to be a finisher. He's not looking for the one shot. He's looking for things to set up, to block it out, to disguise the takedown behind it, or disguise a clinch or something like that. Whatever he can do to put your back up against the cage, or just put you in a position where he knows that if he does shoot at that time, you're off balance, he can get you down a little bit easier. Even if you get back up, he's going to shoot again. So pressure could be a huge negative for Sean O'Malley because of the way that volume is versus accuracy and everything like that. I don't think Sean trying to be accurate is a negative. I just think that the style of Merab is always just tough against a style like Sean, who has more of a patient strategy, which he has to do that in controlling the pace with one of the keys to victory. It all goes hand in hand with everything. I almost feel stupid talking about this because I feel like I'm just repeating what it is, you know? Positive and negative, it's all like, I don't know. I feel like I sound dumb. Maybe I don't, but if I do, let me know. And the last negative for Sean is Sean just can't allow himself to have the back up against the cage and allow Merab to hold him to where he cannot find the shots, to where he cannot be at his distance. Like I said, distance management is a huge positive for Sean, and he really needs to control the distance, control the pace in this fight. But if Merab can close the distance and hold him up against the cage, he doesn't even have to do anything. He just will gain control time just from holding this guy up against the cage, stomping on his foot, landing a couple shots, maybe a punch here and there, an elbow, maybe a shoulder shot, you know, a trip here. Sean gets back up, but he's up against the cage, so it's in a tough position, and Sean can't get anything off. So he needs to avoid having his back up against the cage, as any striker needs to against a wrestler. Avoid having your back up against the cage, and should be fine. I think Sean is going to get this W, if I'm being honest, though. Like, I usually don't give like a prediction of who's going to win in these high stakes fighter breakdowns. I usually do it in the full card breakdown, but I do think that Sean O'Malley gets it done this weekend. He seems locked in. Now, I'm not sleeping on Merab. Merab looked phenomenal in his last fight. Merab's cardio, the pace, his technique, his style, everything is very hard to deal with, but I think Sean is going to find a shot, and I think Sean is going to either... Remember what I said, that Merab gets caught with those left hands sometimes in the finishing a combination. He'll get caught with a left hand. The thing about it, if Sean catches you with something clean, he doesn't have to stun you, knock you out. If you drop and he lands a couple extra shots, they're gonna stop the fight. It's just, you watch, anytime he has to land any extra shots, they stop the fight. Right, so I think Sean is going to be looking for the finish too if he lands that shot, and that's where it's going to be dangerous for Merab. So I do see Sean O'Malley getting that belt back on Saturday night, but we will find out. If anybody can continue on the path that he's on, it is Merab. Truthfully, if there's anybody that can continue on a path in the same way of his last fight, continue to win fights like that, and go on and defend the belt multiple times, Merab is the type of dude. But I feel like Sean's got this one. And if he doesn't, then damn, that would suck to see how locked in he got for this fight. I mean, he is doing simulated training where he's simulating an actual fight audience and presence. He's walking out to his own entrance music and everything like that. So he's got this whole vibe going, and he just seems locked in. It seems like he can get it done. Is there a potential injury on Sean O'Malley? A lot of people have been talking about the foot. We'll find out. I think Merab's got a broken toe too, so who knows? The guys probably aren't going to be in there at 100%, but I just hope we get an interesting fight on Saturday night. Either way, that's it for this episode. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Your boy Bando is out. Peace.